All right, I'm off. Peace outie.
Okie dokie. Good luck and see you later.
Seriously, Coda? The moment I put my keyboard down on the floor, you jump right at it? Is that how we're gonna do things? Still nothing? I'd love to know what these 5 are. Anyway, hello guys, welcome back to Kathy Rain. This is episode 4 of the Director's Cut. Now, I really don't know where I should go first. But, because I have the church, nature preserve, and the clinic. You know, let's go to the clinic. Goober, what are you doing? You homeless, Goober?
Yep, it's full of trash. Figure that. We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing I ever heard of, and totally untrue.
So, what's up with the trash can? Digging for treasure?
Well, I'm just going through a rough patch. By the way, you owe me $10.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Better get those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a stake through the heart.
What do they call you anyway?
Goober. Everyone calls me Goober.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
What's the story?
So, what's your story anyway?
My story?
Yeah, don't all bums have a story?
For your information, this is all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on. I have starred in dozens of Hollywood movies. The Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, The Usual Surprises, Natural Bald Killers.
Nope.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
So, tell me about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
Tell me about The Silence of Lambert.
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns mute overnight. For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using a self-invented sign language, only to realize that true love needs no communication at all. He marries his housekeeper, who only knows 2 words in English, yes and clean. In the end, Lawrence dies of a heart attack in the arms of his lovely wife, Consuelo Lambert Vasquez. Based on a true story.
I'm not sure I want to know what Jacob's Bladder is about, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder. During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week, and he dies from a ruptured bladder.
Okay.
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
Okay.
Natural Bald Killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school. One day, he has simply had enough of all the teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps and heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
Why do you always die at the end of your movies?
Typecasting.
Typecasting.
Oh, never mind.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in 81?
I most certainly do.
Oh?
What? Tell me.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I should have known better.
Oh, I saw it, man. A big, huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taking the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's why he was so messed up when they put him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Open your mind, man.
It's kind of not far from the truth there, though.
Do you know who Lily Myers was?
Yep, my dad was the one who found her floating in the lake.
Really? What can you tell me about her?
Ah, geez, not a lot. I mean, teenage girls, man, they're like their own species. Impossible to figure out. Not to mention how that entire family ain't, like, people-friendly.
Now that's an understatement. Nearly started brawling with Sue the first time I met her.
She could sure deal out a mean whooping, that lady.
Do you reckon...
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam.
Sure you did.
Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Why do I even bother? Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still walking, at least.
What do you know about Lily Myers' art?
Nothing but hearsay. People say it was pretty deranged.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac the priest is, anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
What kind of weird shit?
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Interesting. Do you know anyone else who was involved in the old church?
Not really. I tried to stay as far away from those people as possible. Ask Isaac about it. He's a friendly guy.
All right. I might do that. Do you know what this is?
Chinese fireworks, of course. I grew up in Shanghai. I know what I'm talking about. They used to call me Dong Pai, meaning round-eyed baldy.
Yeah.
Those were some rough years. I miss the food, not to mention the women. Got 2 kids down there now, Mei Lin and little Ping.
Time to hit the off switch now, buddy. Do you recognize these men?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah. What about the other 2?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Okay. Do you know anything about this flower?
It's red?
Enlightening. I don't need to show him that. That'd be one raggedy-ass bribery attempt. I could, but only if I had a really good reason. Want to smoke, buddy?
Nah, I got stage 2 lung cancer. I'm keeping it under control with a fruitarian diet.
Interesting.
Okay, that's enough serious questions for now.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye.
No thanks. I have better things to do. Excuse me, nurse? Hey, nurse!
Yeah?
Somebody around here hates their job.
No shit. What do you want?
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
I need to get rid of her somehow.
Okay. This will be easy enough. Hey, Goober, want to make $5?
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
So, how good an actor are you?
The best. The very best.
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies. And that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I knew it. She always gave me these strange looks. I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
How about The Usual Surprises?
Business as usual. I can't believe you guys did all this for me.
NZ 500 self...
What's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing.
Nurse! He's seizing!
Oh shit!
Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later. Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
Oh, back to this again.
I've learned the hard way that those things only go in computers.
Okay, I'm gonna need my keyboard for this, I'm sure.
Crap. Looks like I have to figure out the username some other way.
Otor Gator? Yes. We have to write that down. Okay. Okay, what was it? Dez or Daz? Let's do Daz first. Oops. I said Daz. Daz right. Ah, I can't see. Oh. Let's see. I wrote it down as O-T-O-R. Nice. Now looking for... Oops, come on. Come on.
Gotcha.
Undergone successful invasive heart surgery, was transferred to facility by his own request. Initial prognosis looks good. The patient will likely make a full recovery in 6 to 8 weeks. 6 feet. Oops. I have everything.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
He's reading a book.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
She's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
That's not what this is about. It's personal.
Sounds serious. Perhaps I should ask Claude to produce his gun.
You know, Charles, the person most likely to be harmed by a gun tends to be its owner.
Very true. That's something the Japs who captured me learned the hard way.
Did my grandfather bail you out then too, or was that one of the few times where he didn't save your sorry ass?
Hold on there. Explain yourself.
You're willing to listen to something other than your own voice? I'm stunned. I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Well.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
Yeah.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks.
Tell me about him.
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now.
You mean these circles?
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran, taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
Do you know what this is?
A flower. Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
I don't need to show him that. I don't need to show him that. He's being cooperative at the moment. I shouldn't push my luck. Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice. But he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
It's hardly Grandpa's fault. He did everything he could to set my father straight.
Oh, I never claimed to doubt Joseph's commitment, but I'm not going to ignore his flaws either. Your grandfather often used his heart when he should have used his head.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I believe it is, objectively. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
That's it. I think that's it.
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
That guy is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day. That guy is...
Okay, so I guess I'm leaving. I think I should go to the nature reserve. Hope Goober's okay. I should go. Yeah, I should go to the police station since I have to go see the chief.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
Do you know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned ahead about that. Lenny!
Yes, boss.
Get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86?
On it, boss. There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy.
Is it in my inventory? Ah, it is. The alarm at the Wade estate is triggered. The house is empty at the time.
That plant isn't looking so good. And it smells weirdly like coffee.
The neighbors.
Coffee plant. They're not made for this climate, you know.
Oh, of course. Duh.
The neighbors contacted law enforcement. Officers arrived at the scene. Several broken windows can be observed. Sweeping the estate and surrounding premises, found no trace of perpetrators. Single witness identified as Franklin
Any messages for me?
Goldfarb.
Messages? I'm supposed to take messages?
Lenny, I swear. Sometimes I wonder if you are an actual imbecile or if you just have some bizarre urge to play stupid all the time.
Oh, I never play stupid, Sheriff.
Guess that settles it then.
Reports of multiple burglars at the scene of the crime. Charles Wade arrives in Colorado Springs to make an official statement. After examining the house, he reports that the paintings with an exercise value Excess
Lenny,
value
I
of
need you to do something.
How can I help, boss?
It's my mother's birthday this weekend. You'll have to get her a gift.
Gift? Like what? I don't really know your mother.
For Christ's sakes, all moms are the same. Just use your imagination. I'm expecting something nicely wrapped on my desk by the end of the week.
Okay, boss.
I like this guy. Excess value of $15,000 has been stolen. The art in question has not popped in any circles that are known to deal with stolen goods, terminating investigation due to lack of leads.
I gotta find this Goldfarb guy. Maybe he knows more about the burglary. Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Sounds familiar, but I can't place him.
Nah, I don't want to ask. Do you know?
Not really, Kathy.
Oops. Anyway.
Well, gotta go.
See ya.
Okay, so let's head over to the nature reserve. This is like a one and done thing. Is that a shovel?
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken. I'm not sure what I expected to find here. I need to clear my head.
Just gonna sit here and have a smoke.
What the?
Why, hello there! You have laid eyes on this dapper fellow once before, haven't you?
I doubt it. You look like you just escaped from a circus. That's not really my kind of gig.
Yet you always play the part of the clown, Kathy.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
It is my calling to know people like you, those shackled by their past, yet yearning for change.
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending. I will try to facilitate.
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the one who slipped away, filled with secrets. While she may be free in death, her cold, wet hands still trap many in painful ignorance.
What is this, Woodstock Poetry Slam? Mine speaking like a normal person?
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed a color in its stead. The next time we meet, you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. Follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
Ooh, that's bright.
Wait, what? How did I get here? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into Mom?
Oh, while we're here, let's see if Grandma knows anything.
Oh, hello, dear. Glad to see you again so soon.
Hi, Grandma. I just thought I'd drop by.
Sure, hon. Stay as long as you'd like.
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
Okay.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is? He was a friend of Grandpa's.
I believe he teaches at the flight school these days.
I don't think so, at least not anymore. I was told he was placed in a mental facility.
Really? He always struck me as a kind man, maybe a bit nervous and on edge, but not crazy.
There's more. I found out that Jimmy asked Grandpa for help not long before Grandpa ended up in that wheelchair. Jimmy sounded really desperate. I'm sure what happened to Grandpa that night had something to do with his cry for help.
You should go find the man then. Surely he must know something.
That's the plan. I just wondered if there's anything else you think I should know about him.
Not really. We haven't stayed in touch since Joseph was injured. I know that he had a wife, Agatha, and a son, James. Agatha passed away from cancer years ago, but as far as I know, James still lives in the city with his family.
Okay, thanks, Grandma. I don't see a reason to ask. Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Oh, that poor man. He used to be an upstanding citizen, you know. Now he's constantly drinking and keeps babbling on about that imaginary acting career of his.
Sad thing. Do you know where I can find him?
He's homeless, dear. Lost his job a few years ago and never really got back on his feet.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about. Thanks, Grandma. Looks like I'm gonna have to have a chat with Goober.
Goober.
See you later, Grams.
Take care, dear.
Got to go find Goober. He's at the community center. Let's go back here real quick. I want to check out that shovel.
Hello? Creepy bald guy. Guess no one's home. That wasn't here before. Hey, is this shovel taken? Good enough for me.
It's mine. God, that audio difference is just like a sore thumb.
Looks like a specimen of the red scythe. It's endangered. I'm not gonna take it without a really good reason.
Well, that guy was the red guy. I want to go talk to Nathan. Maybe he might know about the red man. What is that?
Conwell Lake.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
I'm actually here to see Nathan. Is he here? That's about the red man.
No Nathan today?
Nah, haven't seen Nate all day. Probably out in the woods.
Looks like Nathan knows the strange red man. I need to talk to him about this. I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
You mean Goober? Nobody calls him Franklin anymore.
Right, that's Goober. Do you know who the Red Man is?
Oh, that's just Nate's imaginary friend. The Red Man has been around ever since my boy was little.
I see. So there's no actual person in town he could be referring to?
No way! According to Nathan, the Red Man hasn't changed in 30 years.
Sounds like he has quite an active imagination then.
Oh, you have no idea. He has unique names for each of the kitchen utensils. Nuff said.
Enough said.
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
Okay, so Goober's at the community center. Everybody's saying to go find Goober, so we're gonna go see Goober. What you doing, Coda? What you doing, sweetie? Goober.
I need a word, Miss Mendez.
Wait, how do you know my name?
It's written on that board behind you, genius.
You have the eyesight of a bald eagle or something?
What can I say? I'm a freak of nature. What happened to Goober, anyway?
Who?
The guy who had the seizure?
Oh, he ran off somewhere. Kept babbling about a religious near-death experience.
Okay, thanks.
So I guess we're going to the church. Church.
Hello, Father.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
I did. Rumors spread quickly around here. So how can I be of service?
Start at the top.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a fate. You heard my speech at the funeral, Kathy. I meant every word. He was a great man who did much good for this community.
Did you know him personally?
In a way, he and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated on a few different projects for the homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh, yes. I was a teenager back then. Full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride and showed me how I should follow my heart, regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Does the name Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. Before I was ordained, I was a substitute teacher in her high school.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
Alright, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school, a lot. And when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like She had the whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is, when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
His voice sounds familiar.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
I don't recognize that name, no.
Do you know anything about an art theft at the Wade estate in the 80s?
I have just a vague memory of reading about it in the paper.
Care to tell me the history of the church?
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman, and was driving through this area as he had done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The sign of God. This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here, in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed, the stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity, as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone where.
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983. That's when I stepped in to take leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you, the church is still very much thriving.
Looks kinda empty to me.
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? Trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
Wow. She can be a little...
Do you know who Franklin Goldfarb is?
I'm afraid not, my child.
He's right there.
This may sound strange, but have you heard of or seen a strange man dressed in red?
Only our Lord and Savior Jesus. Surely his rags were drenched in blood as he lay upon the cross.
That's not what I meant. I mean someone here, in Conwell Springs.
Are you joking? I haven't seen a person like that, no.
I don't need to show him that.
Oops, wrong one.
Father, do you know anything about this flower?
No, my child, nothing at all.
I could, but I think I have more to gain from a subtle strategy. I'll keep it to myself for now, until I know more about this church.
Okay.
Do you recognize the men in this picture, Isaac?
Only your grandfather. And that's just because I was given a similar picture at the service the other day.
I don't need to show him that. I sincerely doubt it will come to that. I don't need to show...
Oh, yeah. There's if I'm not mistaken.
That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
There is a achievement for doing this.
Huh, even I wouldn't stoop that low.
Heretic.
Hello
Goober.
again, Goober.
You again? Are you stalking me, girl? You pop up everywhere I go. I'll try to tone down the charm, but I can't promise anything.
Huh, yeah, you're quite the charmer.
I know. I just said that, man.
Listen, I feel kind of bad about the electrocution.
Oh, that's what it was. What a cherry on top of my stellar performance.
Yeah, it was pretty convincing.
So what brings you to the house of God? Come to repent?
I'm afraid that ship has long since sailed, buddy. I had a few things I wanted to ask you about, though.
Shoot, Missy!
I should probably confront him directly about him being a witness.
Oh.
Your real name is Franklin Goldfarb, right?
Oh, nobody calls me that.
Regardless, I know for a fact that you were a witness to a burglary a few years back, at the Wade estate?
Yeah, what about it?
Why don't you tell me what you saw exactly?
I heard the alarm go off, glass breaking, then I saw 3 guys running away, carrying a bunch of stuff.
What did they look like?
It was dark, I don't know, they were definitely 3 big, bulky guys. They
what?
Oh, nothing, that's it. Didn't see anything else.
Bullshit, spit it out.
Well, one of those guys dropped his ring when running away. I sort of pawned it.
A ring? What kind of ring?
Platinum with an inscription. 2 letters, B something. Man, I don't remember. My photographic memory stopped working in 1979.
Which pawn shop was that?
Pete's Pawning and Plumbing. It closed down a long time ago, though. Owner left town. There's a coffee shop back there now.
Too bad. Guess that's a dead end. Thanks anyway. Didn't I see 2 letters fitting that description recently? Not on a building. It was something small. I don't need to ask him about...
Huh. Something small?
Did the inscription on the ring look anything like this?
Wow, actually exactly like that.
Any idea what BH stands for?
Beehive? Bet high? Big head?
Okay, that's all for now.
See ya!
This is where I'm going to go ahead and end it, guys. I want to thank you for watching. And hopefully we'll continue more next time. I will see you then. Till next time. Bye.